We're going to check in with Stephen Montegrano now with a look at how the upcoming forecast and what it's looking like. Stephen, where are we on the path of its trajectory right now?
Yeah, Joe, we're looking at the rain advancing in from the south, and that'll continue to be the trend as we go through the daytime hours today with the wind already picking up. Now, here's a wide view of our storm. The center of the storm is still located, off the Carolina coastline. That's where you see that red L on the screen. But notice all of the moisture, the rain, tracking up off the mid-Atlantic coast and just south of us, and that's going to be pushing on in for the daytime hours today and into, of course, tonight and Monday. So a lot of clouds out there, looking at some rainfall to the south here, just advancing on in. It'll continue to be doing that as we go through the day today. So if you want to head on out early on to run some errands while it's dry, do so for the next couple of hours. Or if you want to kind of, secure any of those last decorations that you have to lock down before the wind gets here, certainly, do so that as well. Here's New Bedford. Cloudy skies out there. We're dry for the time being. Temperatures in the 50s across the board. No advisories or warnings for our area, at least in terms of the mainland, but Block Island, you have a high wind warning for gusts as high as 60 miles per hour. Also seeing a high wind warning for Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket. Wind advisories for the Cape and coastal Connecticut. So although there's no advisory or warning for us, I do expect to see those winds to be quite gusty, especially later on today. We're already seeing gusts, by the way, as high as about 30, 35 miles per hour in spots along the coastline. So in the yellow, gusts 35 to 45 miles per hour for inland areas, especially as we go through later today into tomorrow. Along the shoreline, that orange area here, gusts to about 50, and then I mentioned the islands could actually see gusts as high as about 60. So here are the wind speeds right now. This is the constant wind, the sustained wind. You can see we're already looking at that breeze, about 5 to 15 miles per hour or so out of the east northeast. But then you factor in the gusts, and you can see some of these gusts are higher. 25 gusting now in Newport, 30 out on Block Island. You can see those islands again gusting a little bit higher, but that'll be the case as we go through the day today into tonight. So another concern from our storm system here is the coastal flood threat. We have a coastal flood advisory for the Monday high tides, 1 a.m. and 2 p.m. with those high tide cycles. And you can see here on the map, we have some towns and cities listed for those high tide times, looking at the water to be anywhere from about a foot to 2 to 3 feet above the normal level. So certainly looking at some minor coastal flooding as a potential. So let's break things down further here. When all is said and done, looking at 1 to 3 inches of rainfall by the time we get into Tuesday morning. There was strong winds I mentioned, some wind damage possible, coastal flooding as well. Let's time it all out. We'll see the rain arriving for the day today, especially as we go towards the middle part of the day from south to north. So if you live further north and west, it might take a little bit longer for that rain to get to you. Whereas if you're at the coastline, you'll see it sooner. Heavier bands track on in for the second half of the day. Some yellow indicating that, perhaps a rumble of thunder in there as well. And notice this is just kind of the theme as we go into tonight. These waves of heavier rain bands tracking on in from the south, and that continues to do so overnight and into tomorrow. Now, thankfully, being that tomorrow's Columbus Day, many people are home from work and school, so the morning commute won't be as impactful. But if you have to head out early on tomorrow, give yourself some extra time, because we're going to be looking at some rain and some wind out there for a good part of Monday and into the second half of the day as well. So a long duration storm that we're looking at that lingers all the way actually into early Tuesday. Now, I mentioned those strong winds. Some isolated power outages are certainly possible as a result, looking at, again, mainly at the coastline for those gusts that could reach as high as 50 miles per hour. Let's talk about those wind gusts here. We'll go through the forecast. This is one computer model here. This is 3 p.m. Seeing those gusts as high as 30 miles per hour at the shoreline. Block Island already gusting close to 50 this afternoon. It only picks up from there. You can see, again, near 30 across inland areas. And then as you go to the coastline, seeing those higher gusts all the way through tonight and into Monday, really favoring the coastline and the islands for some of those stronger wind gusts right through Monday afternoon. Now, how about the rainfall? I mentioned that too. Generally speaking, 1 to 3 inches of rain when all is said and done. You can see here by Tuesday morning, give or take. I wouldn't, focus so much on the exact numbers, but the potential is there for some locations to see 2, even 3 inches of rainfall. So here's your 7-day forecast. And the good news is if you want the sunshine to return, it does get here, but not until Wednesday with mainly sunny skies and temperatures in the low 60s. Much cooler for Thursday, partly sunny, low 50s, and then maybe some more showers as we go into Saturday. But again, a long duration system here with rain and wind for later today through Tuesday morning. And the full 7-day on our website at WPRI.com.